Thank you, Khushbu. We would like to invite on stage the speakers that we have chosen for this session. May I please invite Professor Bibas Chaudhary. He's from the Department of English, Gauhati University. Professor Bibas Chaudhary. Dr. Tulika De from the Northeastern Regional Institute of Education, Meghalaya. Dr. Tulika De, and Dr. Niroda Devi, who's the director, SCERT, Assam. May I request Dr. Saurav Thakur to kindly felicitate our speakers. Thank you so much. So I once again hand over the stage to you, Ms. Awasthi, to carry on with the panels.
So good afternoon, panelists, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure your expertise and your long professional journey has so much to offer, so much insights to offer to this group, and something that we can take back to our strategy paper as well. So, NEP and the conceptualization of the National Mission for Mentoring has certainly put mentoring as a key process. But like I said, and even Professor Roy pointed out, that it has always been there, part and parcel of our life. So before we even go into the concepts and what should we do, I would like to understand, you in your illustrious career as an academician, as a leader, how has mentoring personally benefited you? Do you see that it played any vital role in how you learned and grew as a leader? And any of you can start and pass the mic.
Of course, this role of mentors and mentee relationship is important in anybody's life, I think. We all realize. And going to the NEP also, it is the reflection of what the people of India realized. In fact, the whole NEP. But I want to say that what we are discussing here and looking at this, we know, we understand, and we are motivated. But I want to go for the issues, in fact, because all of us here, it is not the students here speaking, we are all this, that we are mentee, but at the same time, we are mentors also in the greater sense. So in that case, the belongingness, I think somewhat in the society, the belongingness, sense of belongingness, I think we have to revive this sense again. It is somewhere we feel that somewhere it is decreasing this sense of belongingness. So that has to be created. And how it can be, then we have to think of. Because we are here, we are going to implement these themes, this ideology. So we have the great challenge in bringing these themes to the ground level. Working in the SCERT, from the very beginning, we have been working on NEP, on different factors from the draft stage itself. There are many discussions at national level we have attended, many discussions at the state level. SCERT has also given the responsibility for framing the state curriculum framework, starting from school education to teacher education also. And this is the great opportunity that I have come here, because we were waiting for this NPST, what NPST goes for, because teacher education will be related to this NPST and this mentor-mentee also. So we are waiting, we are working, we are researching. But the main one issue I want to say that in the field level, at the grassroots level, this realization, sense of belongingness, involvement of mentors, and acceptance by the Mentee one. It is a community things. That community involvement must be there. While we're going for the school education, we must go for not only in life, when you see in the education, in higher education, and from this gross enrollment ratio is decreasing. Even at national level, it is not satisfactory. In a state level, in Assam, it is quite less. But this cause is maybe there are some loophole in the school level. Maybe the proper mentoring at school level is not done. So that is our challenge now. And we have to proceed with this challenge to overcome this challenge with these guidelines that NCT has prepared. These guidelines we understand, but we have to bring them to the grassroots level. That will be our challenge only. I want. I have nothing to say on it because this is the best thing that come up with this NEP. NCT has framed these guidelines, but our challenge is to bring it to the grassroots level. And that challenge, it cannot be done by framing some guidelines, because in Assam also the government has initiated for this implementation, for framing some guidelines. We are also a part of that. We are preparing those background notes and all for government. But finally, the implementation part is a public document. It is the community who will implement. It is the teachers, it is the students, guardians, whoever it is. So it is a teamwork. We have to go together. We have to overcome the challenge to get the vision, to achieve the vision of this NEP. What I said, this is my opinion.
Thank you for sharing, ma'am. In fact, like you said, it's a great vision. And to bring any great vision to life, there will be challenges that we have to be ready with. And every challenge presents an opportunity as well. So sense of belonging is definitely something which will play a key role if this mentoring has to see success. Professor Chaudhary.
Thank you so much. As ma'am was talking about, we have the two words, I think. One is the real, the other is the ideal. The ideal we have before us. Context of Assam. If you move 1 kilometer, the language changes. So we have been talking in English. We have been referring to all these issues as if it's a one language issue. But in Assam, the situation is very different. And we have been talking of the online mode, use of technology. Many students do not have access to English. And the question of textbooks, for instance. So if I, as a maths teacher in a interior part of Assam, if I have a problem regarding how to impart maths education, say in class 4 or class 5, and I have to teach in the vernacular, and I go to a senior teacher and ask, how do I go about it? And if I go to a neighboring school or ask another teacher, how do I go about it? And the question of literacy, the question of language, demographic diversity, these are very, very pertinent issues, ground level issues, as ma'am has talked about. And then mentoring may reach a roadblock. Ideally, mentoring is excellent. I think this is the purpose we should have in mind. But in reality, as you have seen in terms of the pandemic and what we have achieved or what we have not achieved through online education, in spite of the use of technology. These, I think, are some of the issues that the NMM could look at, the ground level circumstances. I think we can find it all over India. Different issues, a village in Kerala or a village in Rajasthan, and the education there, especially the school level, and the problems that may be faced by pockets of the population, by students and teachers. So how do I keep my problem to my colleague, or am I in a position to share it with someone who is from, say, Rajasthan or Kerala or Maharashtra as a teacher, since you're looking at a mission? So I have a problem in imparting education in class 2, 3, or 4, or 5. How do I share it to someone who doesn't have access to my language? And language being a problem in literacy, and also the question of textbooks and a lot of other issues are involved. So how do I get it across? How do I actually make the problem of teaching familiar to a fellow teacher, which may be a different problem in a different location? I think that
No,
I think
absolutely,
is
sir.
a concern we could look at.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, sense of belonging is one thing. It's a more cultural thing, but I think the diversity is a very real challenge out there. And if we are thinking of a national mission like this, what would enabling mentoring at scale mean in the implementation process? How do we account for these diversity? How do we ensure that a teacher in Kerala is, without any barriers, able to reach out to somebody in Uttar Pradesh or say Assam or Meghalaya and exchange their thoughts and their wisdom, right? Thank you for pointing that out, Professor Chaudhary. Ma'am,
Yeah, I think the question put forward was that if we have been benefited in our life by some mentors during our life, I think this is something which every person has in every walk of life. As a child, yes, we have been mentored by our parents. As students, we have our mentors were our teachers. And as our teaching faculty too today, we have our senior colleagues as mentors. So, or we can look back to our teachers in our university days when we find some problem, we do talk to them. So we have mentors at various levels and we have really been benefited by that. But coming to what was when ma'am also said and sir also said, what I was thinking that in the back of my mind is that the mentors always were from the context itself. I cannot be, as a child, when I am at home, I cannot go and look for the solution that I am, a problem that I am facing, and the solution I go and look in others' place is not something which is going to happen. So I have to find the solution in my context, and the mentor can be from my context itself. So if we think of mentoring and it's the mentor is from the organization itself, then I think it will be because the mentor also will understand my needs, the context in which I am. He or she is better in a better position to understand, and so he will be familiar with the structure and be mentoring in a better way. So this is what I feel.
thank you, ma'am. Again, a brilliant point there that, because we already said that how mentoring is a mentee directed process. And if a mentee feels that the challenge that I'm facing is very context intensive and somebody who understands my context will only be able to mentor me, then I would rather reach out to a mentor who's familiar with my context. But there are also situations when my challenges may not require a very deep understanding of the context. It could be something related to some pedagogical aspects, some activity-based learning, and then I can reach out to anybody who is made available to me. And hence the role of
Yes,
the
as
mentoring.
per the need of the
Absolutely. So if we could make that, if we could break away that barrier of access through the national mission of mentoring, then it's that in itself would kind of unlock so many powerful potential. Thank you for sharing that brilliant point, ma'am. Uh, in fact, on one of the earlier address, Sir said how mentoring is different from teaching and other professional development processes that we already are seeing around us. So, and all of you have been, you would have been facilitating a lot of learning experiences and you would have also attended. So I'm curious to understand, how do you see that? What is that extra value that mentoring will bring that will enhance the learning experience of either students or teachers or even leaders, school leaders in our context? How do you see mentoring add value?
Uh, Teaching is more of a, till today we see that it is more that the teachers are the one who are delivering and the students are recepting. There is less scope of um, being in the transformation or support. It is only directed to what we intend to teach, what the syllabus demands from us and all that. So it has very less scope of an holistic development kind of a thing if we think in the classroom perspective. So that is what the difference I feel, because mentoring is hand holding in different directions, whether it is the pedagogical aspect or in some other works. So, and so there is a restriction means the dimension of teaching is smaller compared to the mentoring.
And I love this point, ma'am, because in the Blue Book also, in the whole approach note, we have specially called out how mentoring is different from teaching. And one of the points I remember is that how teaching is still restrictive because you're bound by certain syllabus or certain curriculum, but mentoring can be far more holistic in its purview. Ma'am?
Yes, I agree. So that is the main part of this mentoring, that mentoring may be outside the classroom, mentoring may be anywhere. The mentoring may be beyond the syllabus, it is same thing. Overall, the holistic development of the life. This is all I agree, that nothing else to say on it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I also agree that teaching, at least from what we have seen or in practice, has been more or less an active teacher and a passive learner process. I think that is what NAP seeks to address and overhaul and see that the learning takes place at multiple levels. I would just like to mention something that struck me when we say mentoring, and as ma'am pointed out, it's I would go to someone I'm comfortable with as a mentee, someone who is familiar with my problem, and who I would believe would give me the answers. However, since we are talking of, say, equality and saying that India as an educational hub should proceed all its reasons should proceed equally. So should I think, are we looking at a situation where I in Assam may feel that I am not being mentored as well as someone in Delhi is being mentored? Because there are better mentors, there are better openings, better situations. And so although I'm getting the best mentoring that I can get here, someone in Delhi located better is getting better mentoring. How do we bridge that sense, which I think at different level persists?
Again, that's a great point. And in our everyday life, we have seen that the moment something becomes accessible to us, it also enables us to say, to start wishing for more. That, though I have this, can I have something more and beyond? But having said that, just because I could now wish for so much more, isn't that a great achievement? Because now my boundaries, my horizon of thought process has gone beyond. So, great point, sir. Thank you for sharing. I think we have less time, so I'll just put one last question in the interest of time. You are all practitioners and you have seen the education system challenges at very close quarters. So if this mission has to be successful, what do you think is that one thing that we should definitely solve for, or really look out for, that only if this is done, this mission has a chance of succeeding?
Let us start from today itself. Everybody here in the halls, we belongs to one community. We are alumni of some schools, some colleges. Let us go back to our own schools, that community. Make the same awareness. The awareness is, I feel, the awareness is the most emergent thing. Because although we are talking about this mentors mentee at our level, at field level, in village schools, because I have visited so many schools, I realized that this main concept is not yet there. These are mechanical things are still going there. So we have to change those situation. Our maximum awareness and motivational program meet must be there. Let us have this beginning today, and let us go to that own this thing. And then once this awareness is come, what I believe is, once I am motivated that I have to do this, I will make it done. What this is mine. And if the teacher understands that I want my students, my child to be this, as a balanced personality, the good citizen of our country, his professionals are this way, and I will identify his caliber, his internal capacity, and I will flourish it. If I have that motivation, being a teacher, I will find out the way to get them.
Absolutely.
So I think this motivational program should be done not in the city heart. It should be go to the remote area of the schools, and then only I think the success of this mission will be
Absolutely.
possible.
Take
This
it,
is my
take it
mission.
closer to people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
This is the this is the main thing.
Yeah.
Closer to people, because community, it is not a forcefully that we can see. Even a mentors I am willing to do, if I go for mentorship, the mentee may not accept me. So it is a community involvement. So that way the community has to select mentors. The mentee has to select mentors. So there may be some availability of mentors. There's a group of mentors, group of mentee, and the mentee will select the mentors, or the community will select the mentors, and then the relationship will come. Simply if I go to a area in a school or any area, and I want that I will be a mentor, they may not accept me. So these are some of the things. This is the challenge where I say, so first of all, our deliberation, sitting here in the hall, how much we can do for it, go for it. Once we can motivate another 100 people, then it will be exponentially increase this motivation. And I think every corner people will be motivated and the mission will be successful.
Thank you, ma'am. You said one point, but I think I derived personally 2 points from what you said. Mentors also need certain sort of capacity building and hand-holding to become an effective mentor. It needs practice. And second, that mentees, it's a trust-based relationship. So mentee has to be given that choice to actually choose their mentor who they're comfortable with. And that will require a lot of efforts from our side to actually be more closer to the grassroots. And if all of us can go to our own communities and have such similar deliberations around what mentoring means to people and what would they want to see in the mentoring process, it will become far more, the impact will be exponential. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am.
Yeah. What I feel that for mentoring to be successful, first, there should be an SWOT analysis. Every individual has some strength, their weaknesses, and their opportunities to excel professionally. And so those analyses should be done first, and there are threats, of course. So after that, if I am good in a particular field, I should be made a master of that, not try to build something else. If I have a leadership quality, I should be made a master of that by mentoring, and not try to make me a jack of all trades and master of none. And those from the education fraternity will all agree about the animal school, where if the eagle knew how to fly, he was taught to learn how to swim. And in the end, he neither could fly nor could um, swim. So I don't want that to happen, that the mentor says that you know this, you have the skill of public speaking, and so you don't speak now, you don't do this, but you try to become a good leader. So that should not be that. The learner's need should be at the center point. So the SWOT analysis should be done, and then make a master of it. So this is the first point. And second point, what I think is that to this mentoring system to be successful, it should think first about its sustainability, and not go something like we had in the Rashtriya Avishkar Saptah. Roy sir will agree with me, where this mentoring came, but it came, it did not take flight, it just ended there itself. So I don't want to see that again happening. That's why thing is that the sustainability factor has to be given more importance, so that it takes a flight and continues to fly. Thank you.
Very well said, ma'am. Institutionalization, making sure this is rooted, any new concept is rooted in our existing structures. And we know that what will sustain it is the first question that we should ask as soon as we conceptualize it. And on your master, jack of all trades and master of none point, I also have a corollary view to it to say that even one person may not be capable enough to mentor on all aspects. So a mentee may want to have access to different mentors for different concerns of his or hers. Right.
Yeah,
So-
I just like to add that two words are crucial, I think. One is access. The mentee must find the mentor accessible. and comfort. There must be some kind of comfort with both way. I think. I think these are inbuilt into the mission program. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Definitely, it's been considered, but you emphasize it again, and I thank you for that. I think this has been the most invigorating 30 minutes of the entire discussion. Obviously, you have rich experience, and your practices on ground and experiences on ground has added a lot of insights. And I'm sure the working committee will keep reaching out to you for your inputs and your suggestions, so that we make sure that our sir, okay.
Anyway, I was listening to it. Actually, initially, then I just thought that probably UGC has got a scheme called adjunct professor. So what we do there, that senior professors who are elsewhere in the university, then they will come to the different institute and they will help in teaching, they will help in the PhD programs or, thank you. Anyway, so that way what I did, I will just tell one personal experience. Ultimately, then we'll move to what the members, especially Madam, has said. When I joined this university as Vice Chancellor, I just thought that, because that time, because it was a college to an university, so we thought that we'll bring a few adjunct professors to the university. So I selected few. Some came from the department. Then while sitting, I was thinking, then out of that, maybe 10 to 12 or 15, some are really, that scheme has worked nicely. At least that means they take a very good number of classes and they interact so much. Some say 30, 40%, some say 10, 20%. So there I am thinking that probably this type of same thing you want to try for the schools. And what I will think that the present, any school teachers, as Madam has said, Nirada Devi, that maybe the school teachers and the faculty and the teachers there, and then maybe the guardians, those who will be comfortable there or in the whole area, they are regarded as a role model, as a teacher, they should be probably the mentors of that institute, any aspect, whether teaching, their character building, their morality, their social behavior, their respect to the seniors, their towards what sort of food they should eat, like anything, any agriculture. So therefore, from any aspect, anybody may come. So therefore, it will be we should give the to the institute, to the school, that you can take certain people like this of your society, especially local people will be better instead of going from somewhere else. So that way probably that will help the next generation to be much better. I think most of the things, I think that is coming out, and that may be mentioned here in the case of schools, as has been done by the UGC. And especially if it is possible, normally UGC has got certain rule that they, according to the UGC, they can pay something, this and that. Maybe for this, I don't know, but some sort of arrangement, if that can be done, probably some people will be very happy, if the senior teachers or anyone in the community. So that way, I think that will be very useful. So thank you very much. That was just my thinking while sitting
Yes.
there.
Thank you, sir. I just want to, just for information, I want to say I will be happy to share here it. The government of Assam has already taken initiative in getting some of this SOP regarding this mentoring, like how higher education institutions can mentor the schools, then how the students of different higher education institutions can mentor their neighbor schools or their junior students. Accordingly, similarly, the retired teacher of the community of some schools. So that there are some few points we are preparing the ground background. In fact, last 2-3 days we were having this review with Honorable CM, Honorable Education Minister, with this all education department. So this type of regarding this mentoring we were discussing on NEP only. So some SOP government has already taken the initiative for developing this SOP in the state for this mentoring. There will be a broad guideline And of course, to implement that guideline, the local involvement will be required. I think I agree with the sir, Vice Chancellor sir, it is already there. And it is also it is mentioned in that way that even a higher education institution students in their CBCS course of time, if one degree level student or postgraduate level student, they mentor their school students in their some schools, one credit may go in their assessment in the higher level. These are the some of the point discussion in that. Even it is not come to the, it is not published, just I have shared this one for information, and I'm happy to share this. And I think if in this way, in a cooperative way, the higher education institution, school education institution, then our starting from our pre-primary schools to all. So I think there is no point that it will not succeed,
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you,
because
sir,
our
for bringing
target
that
is
up.
only our children.
Yes.
So if
absolutely.
we concentrate, whatever may be our way, we concentrate our children and we will achieve it.
If the
This is
purpose
my
is clear, we'll
point.
always find a way. If we decide that we have to make this mission successful, I'm sure the story